In this video, we are going to see the Microsoft Secure Score, how we can improve the security score. For this, you need to go to the security.microsoft.com under the exposure management. There is a security score and you will see. And this is the score currently my tenant have right now. So we are going to improve this. So how we are going to improve? The Microsoft already recommends the actions and all. So I'm going to see the recommended actions here. In the recommended action, you can see this, all these tasks is there, and their score, how you are going to improve your score, how much if you comply with this particular setting. If you turn on this particular setting, then this much score will improve, and this is the weightage that you will get and address and all. So right now we are going to improve our security score, and we will start with the Microsoft Intra ID security. And for that, I'll just filter this from here. I'm going to filter Microsoft Intra ID. So I'll get all the recommendation tasks that are related to Microsoft Intra ID. So you can see product is Microsoft Intra ID, and these are the tasks I have seen. So you see 3 tasks is already completed, and these other are yet to complete, need to address. So I am going to tell you how we are going to improve this task. So multi-factor authentication is enabled for all users. So when you click on this, you will see that's okay. This is the description, what is going to happen, implementation. This is the things that you need to follow to get this turned on, and there are little bit information about what is the multi-factor authentication, which are the ways you can enable. I'll tell you, you can click here and it will redirect to the Intra ID portal, where you need to create a policy to enable the multi-factor authentication for all users. Let's do this. Identity protection, protect, and the conditional access. This is the another portal, and the same portal you can open from here also. It's just an Intra ID. That is another portal, but the same thing, same settings you will see from both pages, the protection and the conditional access. So you might be familiar with this portal. So policies, and so right now there is a policy I created, but I'll create this policy from the template, a new policy from template, and here required multi-factor authentications for all users. I guess that was the multi-factor authentication is enabled for all users. So I am doing this. So this is, but right now, as I said, every policy first in report only mode, and then apply to all users. Once you audit everything is okay, and then do this. So I'll just create. But since I know I am only the one who's using this tenant, so I am going to apply this on and save. For a demo purpose, I am going to exclude this my ID is already excluded, so it's not going to apply to my ID, but it will apply to everyone. Then let's that this is done. Let's go to the another page. Now this, how it's going to be compliant, how it's going to complete it is going to say. So it's basically every 24 hours Microsoft scan our environment and see if this policy is enabled, or all the security mitigations are created, applied, and then Microsoft make the decision, and then you will see the completed. So I'm not going to do anything here to make this status. I'm not going to change the status manually. We'll see the Microsoft take a decision, like it takes 24 hours to check, and then you will see this completed. So another policy that we are going to take on is the enable Microsoft Intra ID identity protection sign-in risky policy, and another is the identity protection for the risky policy. So these 2 policies are there under the identity protection. So I'll go here, and then I'll go to identity protection, same Intra ID Microsoft.com, and then you will see the user risky policy and risky sign-in policy. So I am going to turn on this policy. So this is going to apply to all users. I recommend first go with the high, done, and the control is block. So it's basically if any user find high risky, then his access is going to block, and then he need to call the IT, and then IT will allow that user to log in. Okay, save. And this report you will see under the report risky user. Under this here you will see that user, if it is there, then that user will be locked. So you have to dismiss this user risk and or confirm the user is a safe, and then user able to log in. So that user should be deleted here, from it will remove automatically, and then only user able to log in. Another is sign in risky. Same, all users low and above, I am going to keep this above, and block and enable and save. This is the three policies that we turned on right now. One is multi-factor authentication enabled for all users, risky sign-in, risky user, and risky sign-in. And third one is administrator. So this one is another policy that Microsoft recommend, conditional access. If you go into the conditional access, click on the policy, and then new policy from template. When you go here, you will see required multi-factor authentication for admin. And where is that? Yep, this one, first one, required multi-factor authentication for admin. Now since we have already enabled multi-factor authentication for all users, then this policy is not needed. But as a demo, and we need to improve our security, we need to create this policy. So I am going to create, and I'll just go with this right now on. And this will policy apply to all the admins that we have in our tenant. All admins need to have a MFA set properly. So I'll just create. So now this policy will turn on automatically. It will create, and it will be in on state, all authentication on. Then so we have created 4 policy. Now consent app accessing the company data on their behalf. So I'll create another video for this particular. This is a little bit 3-4 things we need to consider when we make a decision on this. So I'll give you the best practice how you can make a decision on this point. Block, this one is a block access for legacy authentication. Again, we need to go to the conditional access, choose from the policy template, and block legacy authentication. This is the policy that Microsoft is, and since we are not using any legacy application, so you can just directly, I am going on, and if any legacy application you want to exclude, then you can exclude from the client app section, and I'll just create. So this is also done. Then self-service password reset for all users. This is another thing that we need to make a decision. We need to make a decision. Sorry. So password reset here, same section, password reset. Now is by default it's selected to none. All our admins by default enable, or they can use the self-service password reset by default. But for other users, we need to set this. So I am, as per Microsoft recommendations, we are doing for the all. So save. This is not the only thing we need to consider when we need to set up a self-service password reset. Once it's done, then the authentication method, choose 2 authentication method as Microsoft recommend to, and then which are the 2 methods users need to choose while resetting their own password. So I am selecting, this is email and the mobile phone, and you can go with the mobile app notification, that 6-digit code. That code you can also use, or the push notification that comes on your Microsoft authentication authenticator app. So this one of 2 methods they can choose to reset their own password. I am going to save. So what will happen if existing user is already or we have not set the SSPR for them, then what will happen? So they will, whenever next time they log in, they will prompt to your company need extra information. That page it will show when they click next, and they will need to register for their email ID. This email ID is not their office email ID. They need to have a external third party email ID. Their personal email ID need to set up so that they can get a OTP on that. Mobile phone is their mobile phone, and app that is available on their mobile phone, that is multi-factor authentication app, Microsoft. So that registration. A third thing is this 180 days is by default is set. So every 180 days they need to re-authenticate, and they need to recheck their third party external email ID with the OTP. They need to confirm, and the mobile number also need to confirm every 180 days. You can choose 90 days also, or 1 month also, as per your requirement. So these three things you need to confirm. And then the notification, notify user when password is reset. It will send the notification to the user that your password is already reset on their company email ID. And notify all admins if other admins is reset the password. This is another policy that you need to set. Administrator policy, number of method is required. This is what we set for right now. This is for the internal on-premises Active Directory. If they are using single sign-on with Intra ID Connect tool, that is where this method is comes in picture. So yeah, so this is done.